that.
One for his actions and his donation.
Thank you very much for this hold these. I had this done, I'm sorry, council members, good evening. Thank you for having us. City Manager.
Mr. Beckelhymer, I have a quick question.
Sure.
Is the baby grand piano going to convey with the donation?
Baby grand player piano. Perhaps. It depends. That's the building. I don't know if you can see that yet.
Just for the record, your name, please, sir?
I apologize. George Beckelhymer.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. This was built by my great-grandfather in 1925. It's a French chateau replica. Dr. F.R. Canseco came over during the Mexican Revolution, fleeing the country along with all the other doctors and priests and so on during that purging. And they settled here in Laredo. Well, that's the truth. And so he established his medical practice here immediately after having been mayor pro tem of Monterrey, by the way. And I'm going to get all that history together to promote the home a little bit more completely. And he unfortunately died in his 40s, also in the 20s, so he didn't stay very long, but was also the president of a local bank called the Mercantile Bank of Laredo, and his vice president, he was the owner and the president, his vice president was H.B. Zachary, the father of the famous construction person. And so there's a rich history behind the house. His widow continued to live until 1970, actually, and then my grandparents have since passed away and so on, and my brother John and my cousin and I consolidated ownership about 10, 12 years ago in the hopes of preserving it. We've had many offers to sell it. I've always turned them down, and they've been some of them have been significant offers. However, they would have to be some people wanted to tear it down, other people wanted to make it into like a bar, things like that. And that wasn't acceptable to me. And so, not to sound sappy, but there's nobody above me. My parents, everybody's deceased, and so this represents my family and my heritage, and I want to preserve it. And so I'm happy that Mr. Bettis likes it as much as he does. I think it's probably one of the most talked about structures in the city, and I'm delighted to come forward with this dedication opportunity for the citizens.
Mr. Beckelhymer, I've been through that house, and my wife has always said, I wonder who lived there. So it's such a beautiful house, you know, and it's just out there, you know, by itself. So I'm glad we're thinking of doing something with it.
Absolutely. I mean, I played there as a child. We used to call the yard the Montes because they were so big. It's a half block. And actually, I don't mind anything being done to the grounds. The gardens itself, other than the palm trees that my grandmother loved so much. They were planted in the 20s, and I'd like those to stay preserved.
That's going to be part of the deal. The palm trees are going to stay, and we're just basically going to renovate it. We're not going to make any changes to it. Just make it a nicer place, or restore it to its original grandeur. That's what we're going to do.
And I'll tell you, Councilman Perez, the diamond in the rough thing isn't a misnomer. It's originally very bright white block. It is merely mildewed over time. So however it is that they are able to get that off, it'll be a white block again. There's a lot of data on the house, and I've shared some of the stories with you, Senator, and we can access that to that gentleman. And I'm going to contact my Canseco family members for more data to represent a more historic, presentation. Okay?
Any questions?
Great opportunity. It's going to be a fantastic addition to that part of town.
Beautiful home. I mean, I've gone through there. And
a nominal fee is very nominal. $1, or I don't know, some very nominal fee. But if there's no questions, I would like to make a motion to enter into a contract with Mr. Beckelhymer for the ultimate donation of the Canseco house.
We'll bring back the agreement, once we execute with the family. I think we've basically come to most of the terms, but we'll formalize it and bring it back to council for approval.